Welcome to the show. I'm Kathy Ireland. In 2019, experts estimated that a new organization fell victim to ransomware every 14 seconds. By 2021, that interval had dropped to just 11 seconds in between attacks, highlighting the growing pressure companies face from digital threats. So joining us today are CyberProof CEO Tony Velleca and the company's president, Yuval Wollman, to discuss their company's unique approach to cybersecurity that combines human expertise and AI bot technology. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much. We're really looking forward to it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Tony, why is cybersecurity such a hot button topic in the world today?
It's much bigger than most people realize. I think in 2019, there was about $3.5 billion worth of cybercrime. And Cybersecurity Ventures is looking at that growing 15% every year to something like $10.5 billion in 2025. But I like to look at it a little more simply because what you see is everything in our lives is now connected. We see cybercrime becoming easier. All over the globe, you have scripts for cyber criminals to use to execute attacks, right? You have regulations coming, making it harder for businesses to operate. The regulation environment like GDPR in Europe is extremely intense. And on top of that, we have a skill gap. We don't have enough people to take up a lot of these problems. So cybersecurity is becoming a national security type of issue, and corporations are on the front line of that problem today.
And Yuval, you recently moved from Tel Aviv after setting up CyberProof's R&D center and elite cyber operations there. Can you tell us why Israel?
Sure. Most of the time when you hear about Israel in the news, you hear about missiles being shot or airstrikes or cyber attacks. So for Israel to survive, you need to develop the best defense system. And for that, you need top talent to train them and to grow them into those capacities. This is why today you have in Israel, once this workforce is going out of the military service, to build startups, to engage with the private sector. You have more than 8,000 startups today in Israel. 900 of them are in cybersecurity. But it's not only about startups, it's also about the full ecosystem, whether it's hospitals, tech hospitals, or funding coming in, or large tech, big tech R&D facilities. CyberProof taps on that talent. This is what we do. We recruit the veterans of the intelligence community, developers, intelligence officers, forensics analysts, and we enjoy this great pool of talent. At the same time, we're very much focused on Israel, but we're global. CyberProof is global. CyberProof, we have teams in Singapore, in Spain, UK, and of course in India, as we want to scale and serve large enterprises globally.
And Yuval, how is CyberProof leveraging Israel to help customers overcome all these challenges?
So it is about talent, but also about technology. The mix, the synergy between talent and technology, this is what makes us, I think, successful. We have developed CyberProof Defense System in Israel, CyberProof Defense Center platform in Israel that automate, create efficiencies, identify patterns in a large pool of data. To do that, you need to have great talent. But it's also about being aligned with where the markets go, because the market is going to the cloud. Huge volumes of data are there. You have Google, GCP, and Amazon AWS, and Microsoft Azure, of course. Those big tech companies, they have set their cloud operations in Israel. Their R&D facilities are in Israel, and we are working very closely with them. In fact, with Microsoft, we've been engaged for almost 3 years now. We're working with their Azure team, and we'll build our technology with a strong partnership of the Microsoft Azure.
Just kind of add to that too, it's just funny, Israel's this place where everybody knows everybody. They all came out of that community, right? So the people that worked with Microsoft on our team worked with them in a past life, or they were in the same military unit. So it enables innovation to happen at a much higher speed.
Right, excellent. No, the technology that comes out of Israel is extraordinary, so fantastic. And Tony, can you walk us through some of the specific solutions that CyberProof offers?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. We wanted to look at the problem differently. So we said, let's start with understanding the business problem and working down. In cybersecurity today, many people start with the technology and work up. So we said, what are the big bad things that can happen to a company? Like your production systems going down for a week, like major loss of data, like a ransomware attack in a hospital where you can't get to your patients,
Right.
serve your patients. So we start there and we start analyzing how would we protect, detect, respond, and anticipate attacks. From that, one of the things that you realize is you have to sense a lot of things, a lot of data, and there's all these different devices. Whether you're a hospital, you have to start looking at that data, processing it, and it's just, it's a service, but it's not a service alone. So what we do is we have a number of cybersecurity services, but they're augmented by what we call SOMA. SOMA's our bot.
So can you explain SOMA? How does it work?
Yeah, I'd love to. So SOMA is a combination of, the way I look at SOMA, to be honest, is kind of a human, but we humans do things better, more creative, right? They think and be more creative, but bots can do things like look at large sets of data. They can identify patterns. We can program bots actually to train humans. So we have a shortage of talent. We can actually have guided investigations and things like that. So we see SOMA augmenting the humans on both our side to be more efficient, but also on the client side to help them build their talent and train. So SOMA, the other thing that's interesting about SOMA, and I'll try and talk about this in a bit, is AI bots are trained by data. So the catch-22 is you have to have good data to be able to train the bot. So we've started uniquely with the enterprise customers to be able to get larger sets of data so we can train SOMA to do good things.
And over time, SOMA expands and train itself to be more efficient. So you can see an exponential growth of the efficiencies it can bring to our security operation centers.
Right.
To the extent that at a certain point, we hope that we will have some sort of an autonomous security operation center.
And Tony, do you tailor these options differently for those high needs enterprise clients?
Yeah, that's a great question, by the way, because one of the challenges is I think a lot of our competitors are somewhat commoditized. They try and do the same thing for every customer. We look at it a little differently. Our clients are co-innovation partners. Since we need this data to train bots, we want to be their partner to go innovate. That means we have to be a little more custom. We have to understand their problems, and then we have to develop that. So what I don't want to use a technical term, but we call it a use case factory. We're developing with our clients the problems, defining the problems that we want to solve, which is the big bad things. We then define the way we would detect those, the way we'd respond to those, and then we build the solutions around those. And that becomes part of SOMA's brain, the way I look at it, right? These things are due. So it's not so much customization in my view, it's co-innovation and how we work with our clients.
Right. So Tony, what is next for you and your team at CyberProof?
That's a great question. You know, if you look at, most people think the industry buzzword is IT, but it's starting to be OT and IoT and this, and what that really means is it's not about my data centers anymore, it's about my self-driving cars. It's about my refrigerators now connected to the network, right? There was an attack a couple of years ago. They used security cameras because they're networked, right? To do things. So the world's expanding, everything's connected, and there's so many new ways to have to protect these things. So if we want self-driving cars, if we want planes to fly safely, if we're gonna all these things to happen, cybersecurity is an absolute must, and we have to get very creative and be able to scale this. So what's next? There's so many options. I just think there's endless possibilities in this area. So
growing as a company is an exciting journey. Our team members, our talented team members, they are very excited by the cutting edge technology to face, the deepest threats, the deepest hackers and attacks. Once we do that, we feel that we have accomplished something. And this is what makes us so excited. Our team growing exponentially through COVID. COVID enhanced all the problems that we shared, but also our ability to recruit team members, talented team members, and together with them to solve those problems.
Yeah, we grew 5 times in the last 2 years during COVID. So it's been an amazing journey.
Congratulations. That's extraordinary. Well, congratulations to both of you on all your success, and thank you for sharing your powerful story with us today.
Well, thank you so much. We
Thank
really
you for
enjoyed it.
having us.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching. I'm Kathy Ireland.